Hello and welcome to Willow Talk. Adam Peacock here with Brad Haddin in the studio. Hads, how are you?
Good to be back. Aussies once again convincing New Zealand have a big game against the West Indies.
Oh, look at the smile on his face, Alyssa Healy. How are you?
I feel like a Mountain Dew. But other than that, going really well, thank you.
For those listening, not seeing, Brad Haddin has got a Mountain Dew advertising.
You're an idiot.
Deal.
You've got the Lakers.
What have I got? LA Lakers, yeah. I needed something in here today. The hair was looking a bit thin.
You're going to see some special hats.
Are
Actually.
we?
Yeah. My kids got me a cupboard full of retro hats.
Did they?
Yep.
Magnificent. Yours are all golf hats, aren't they?
No,
No?
not all of them.
That's not a golf hat?
Athletic Ventures today. So I'm also promoting. Where's the camera?
Right, shall we get
Anyway.
into it? Talk about some cricket.
Any cricket on?
Actually, we're going to review Australia's third game of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup against Namibia. Wasn't even close. We've got some fun things to get through in extras, including a Bairstow-esque incident.
It's shocking. Let's preempt this. It's shocking.
It's not a good one. We'll get his thoughts on it a bit later on, his being Brad Haddin's thoughts. Now, if he says it was shocking, it means it was like, underline it in red.
Illegal.
Yeah. Arrestable. Now, before we get into the review of the Namibia game, we asked our T20 World Cup channel members on Instagram to sum up Australia's win in one word. Hayden says demolition. Maddie says easy. James says delicious. And Tim says taken the PI 55, as Adam says. So that's more than one words, but PI 55 was just about it. Inside 6 overs, chased down the runs. Australia set 73 to win, won by 9 wickets. The team selection, there was only Mitch Starc rested for Nathan Ellis, and I'm sure he enjoyed his time on the golf course.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to him, but I assume that's probably
on
what
the
he
golf
did.
course.
Yeah, he's probably on a catamaran.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like they've been doing every other day. So maybe he was just putting his feet up.
Do you reckon they rest then Josh Hazlewood before the last game, or was it purely because Pat and Mitch went to the IPL, give him a rest, Nathan Ellis came in?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. You've seen by Marcus Stoinis taking the new ball. Mitchell comes straight back into that role. Camo continues those overs during the middle, and you need cricket in Nathan Ellis also. He didn't play much in the IPL, and depending on how the surfaces get, if they get any worse, and I don't think they can, Ellis might be a big chance to play later in the tournament. But with Starkey and Camo, it's important now. These are perfect games for them. It's more about they're cricket ready. It's just making sure they're mentally ready for the finals.
And looking at that Super 8 schedule onwards, it's a game every 2 days, maybe 3. So it makes sense to give someone else a bit of adaptation time to the conditions, just in case, one of those 3 quicks.
Yeah, 100%. And we spoke the last recap about needing all 15 in your squad to win a World Cup, and now's the perfect opportunity for them to blood a few extra players, give them experience in these conditions, but also accidentally lose to Scotland. I mean, how good would that be?
Okay.
This gets better. It's interesting, though, with that selection of Ellis, just to go back to that they didn't try Agar. So Australia must have decided, you know what, the 3 quicks, whoever they're going to be, and it obviously be a big 3 unless there's something really different in the surface, but they're going to go in and back their 3 quicks, and Maxwell's the second spinner.
Well, you both know these surfaces so well. What's harder to accelerate the run rate with? Is it a really clever, medium quick bowling cutters and cross seam and all those things, pace variation, or is it a wrist spinner?
I would go, I think the hardest ones to hit are the crafty fast bowlers.
Finger spinner, not wrist spinner. Sorry.
We knew what you meant.
Thanks.
I think if you've got a fast bowler who's got some tricks and can take the pace off, is going to be a lot more difficult than a spinner that can offer you a lot. I think Ashton Agar would go really well on these surfaces, but I think having the fast bowlers that can do both, I think are a lot more dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. I think Agar would only play if they turned up one day and the wicket was diabolical. And then he might be used with the new ball where it goes through the top. But the 3 quicks, they're our strength. Maxwell's better than a second spinner. He's done it. He's been the lead spinner at a World Cup. So if the wicket is turning and playing tricks, he becomes just as effective as a second spinner.
So he's a bit better than a Bradley Haddin trundling in with his medium paces.
I don't have medium paces.
No,
I don't have it. The only ball I can bowl is a flipper.
Yeah, that's right. You told us that. It's just
skillful.
But I can't set you up for it.
No, it's just all flippers.
It's like a golfer who can only drain 60 footers but can miss the 5-footer. We've all been there. Namibia's innings then. It was the shortest delay ever to start the match with the covers on and then off in the space of 60 seconds. So they obviously looked at the radar and it went through. But Josh Hazlewood and Marcus Stoinis opened the bowling. Pat, did this happen to him a bit at the T20 as well? Doesn't open the bowling in T20. How come?
That's a good question.
Just a theory for us. You don't know.
Well, he's not traditionally a swinger of the ball. He doesn't shape the ball with the new ball. That would be my opinion. So I would throw it to Stoinis to get the most out of the new ball. Pat's really effective coming in after the power play with 5 out and bashing the wicket. He's really hard to get away. So if I was looking at that side, I would do the same thing and utilise that new ball while you've got it, get some shape out of it.
I just think Paddy's that good. He can play different roles, and when Starkey comes back, he's going to take the new ball. Just give him some practice in the middle. He was outstanding in the middle overs against England. He took the pace off. He actually brought the game right back for Australia. So all they're doing there is role playing. Everyone's got a really clear role. And the least disruption was Stoinis. You know what? You have a go at the new ball. If the ball does swing, we can use you later in the tournament. So, and Paddy's pretty chilled. Yes, he can take the new ball, but he can play different roles. So I like him during the middle.
Well, yeah, interestingly enough, when he did bowl in the power play in the IPL, he got whacked because the power play is generally where teams are going to come hard. And Stoinis did a bit of bowling in the IPL in the power play as well and did quite well shaping the ball. So there's no real surprise there, but I agree. I think Pat can bowl all 3 phases, but he's most effective, I should say, in the middle. Yeah,
bit of a different tournament this one, though, like especially that ground in New York where it seems 130s feels like 250. But the IPL, we're looking at 130 after 10.
I love it. I think it's great.
You like it?
I love it. I think it's so much. I love seeing, and this is going to backfire on me big time because I'm still playing, but I love seeing really good cricketers struggle, and have to figure out a way to do well on surfaces that aren't flat.
So you're the sadistic type that's going to sit there and watch the US Open golf this week and hope that 10 over wins it.
Yep.
As opposed to 20 under.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas Hads, you like the power.
No, I like the contest.
Yeah.
I just think for a World Cup event, we're trying to get into the States, show them how good the product is. Yes, they're close games, so that's one thing, but I don't like the surface dictating as much as the result as it has, especially in a World Cup event, and especially when India and Pakistan are playing. You want a really good contest. We got a contest, but it just wasn't what we expected.
Back to this one. So Namibia were 3 for 17 after the power play. Gerhard Erasmus came in. He wasn't exactly trucking along at a good rate after 17 balls. He was 1. He was trying. It just wasn't coming off for him. In the end, he put together a pretty good innings and made what seemed like a complete disaster about to happen, all out 40, all out 45, and got them to 72 at least. It was 36 off 43 for he, but Adam Zampa, we said it on Sunday, didn't we? A skiddy surface, 4 for 12, another man of the match. No real surprise.
Yeah, if you look at this game on face value, it was always going to end this way, but teams like Namibia will get a lot out of this. They get the opportunity to play against Australia, and knowing this group of players, the game won't just end after they got the last run or wicket. That they'll go on in, share their thoughts. The Namibian players will pick the brain of this Australian cricket team, and they'll be open to that. And to build the game, you need teams like Namibia being exposed sometimes to, wow, this is a different level. We go back and we've got to lift our standard in what we do. So, yes, on the surface, another Australia dominating victory, and what we all expected, but it'll be good for the game. These guys will get around the Aussies and learn a bit.
Well, they got David Visa, however you want to pronounce it, in that side as well. They can learn a lot from him, just talking through maybe what could have been done differently, how they can adapt. So, yeah, I agree. I think from an overall global game perspective, it's a good thing that the T20 World Cup has expanded because these teams get an opportunity to play against Australia. Never do they ever get a chance to play against us? No way. So I think it's awesome, and in different conditions as well.
Yeah, it's painfully obvious that what they did to the 50-over World Cup, they took away a lot of these opportunities for these developing nations. Maybe they saw what was going to happen with T20 cricket and planned ahead, and that's their way into international cricket. But Adam Zampa, that's his 100th T20 international wicket. So first there for Australia. Now, he's got the most wickets for Australia in men's T20s. Next best is Mitch Starc on 76 and 169 one-day wickets from 99 games. So the next one against Scotland, presume he plays on the weekend. Does he? Or give Agar a roll?
We don't know.
No, he plays
We'll
Zampa.
wait and see.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You play Zampa no matter what?
I would. Zampa hasn't played that much cricket.
Yeah.
Yes, he's bowling well, but someone like Adam Zampa, I just keep rolling him out.
So Zampa, he's 169 one-day wickets from 99 games. Warney, 291 in 193 matches. White ball games for Australia. So that's an extraordinary record, and he would have done it in T20s if he got the opportunity to play even more. But even though Adam Zampa, we asked our World Cup channel members on Instagram whether Zampa is Australia's greatest white ball spinner, and the majority said yes, recency bias obviously, but it's fair enough. He said right after it, bowled a couple of pies tonight, lucky enough to get some wickets though. So,
Yeah, but the rest of the bowls around it is so good
Yeah.
that you can afford to bowl a few pies. That's what I reckon. So
what's a pie for him? Something fractionally short, is it?
it's just missing off stump,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Missing his length, full toss. Oh, it's interesting debate actually. Adam Zampa's come a long way over the last couple of years. I think he really benefited from Aaron Finch's captaincy actually.
How so?
He showed a lot of confidence in him. I reckon just before that he was down. He didn't really understand his role in this Australian cricket team. And since Finchy got hold of him and gave him a real clear role, under pressure, they throw the ball to him now. So he's grown. He can bowl on the power play. He can bowl at the back end of the game. And it's just credit to himself to be in the conversation with Brad Hogg, Warne as one of our greatest white ball spinners.
He looks healthy. He looks happy. He
Yeah.
looks relaxed. Like coming into a World Cup, a lot of the boys are coming off a lot of cricket, and you just mentioned he hasn't played a lot, but he actually looks quite relaxed, which is exactly how you would picture him off the field. So it looks like it's flowing into his cricket.
I think after the summer, his most competitive thing that he took part in was the billy cart race in Bangalore.
Yeah,
So
it wouldn't
that's-
surprise me.
That's coming in relaxed.
Yeah.
Really?
He made that choice though.
Yeah.
He pulled out of IPL. He said, "I want to prioritise the World Cup. It might be his last. He's come to the back end of his career. Let's hope not. Let's hope he's got a couple more." But he realised if he went to the IPL, probably mentally he wouldn't be where he is now. And we've seen that in the past with Zamp. Sometimes the more cricket he plays, the more he misses home. So he got the opportunity to stay at home, freshen up, and we're getting the rewards now.
Some numbers. Glenn Maxwell with 4 catches for Australia, second Aussie after Sean Abbott to take 4 in a men's T20 for Australia, and 72 is the lowest completed score against Australia in men's T20s, and still is. Oh no, actually, it's the new one. Bangladesh 73. I would have thought we would have skittled a minor nation for a lot less. That's a pretty high number actually.
We haven't played
73.
against a lot of
No.
the smaller nations, I would say.
Anyway, so Australia, the run chase, we put it out there on the group chat, didn't we? Give us the exact ball, and Brad, you're obviously having issues as you always do with technology. You didn't respond, but
I
what
was
did you
late.
say, Mitch?
I was like 9 overs. I
You were 9?
I thought someone would knock him around for a bit.
Mate, I was typing my answer and they were already past it. So I thought, you know what, I'm not even going to send that.
Producer Sam, he put down 8.5 and I put 6.2. So we were playing the prices right. I was the nearest. I get the jackpot. So 5.4 was the answer. Although we nearly had disaster on the first ball. Travis Head was doing a Froggy Freeman from the Sheffield Shield final and resting on his bat early doors, and Davey nearly put him in a pickle, and he was nearly out by about 3 metres.
Well, what Travis Head's got to realise with David Warner is and Usman Khawaja found this as well, get ready to run.
Yeah.
And in the IPL, I can tell you what, he sat on his bat a lot, Travis Head, because him and Abhishek Sharma were just hitting 4s and 6s. So they
no
weren't
running.
even thinking about running. So get ready to run with David.
Have you ever been run out without facing a duck or a golden duck, and you blamed your partner?
Yep.
Who?
Well, I remember when our wife, Karina, brought a family for the first time to watch me play.
Yeah.
North Sydney Oval, New South Wales, opening game of the year, flat. You book in 50 plus.
Is this still in the courting process as well? Like you were not
Well,
like
I said
boyfriend,
my now wife.
girlfriend,
I was
or-
been
My
married
now
for a
wife.
long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
boyfriend, girlfriend, parents
first
first.
ball
Okay, yeah.
of the season, Corey Richards won just off his legs, beautiful shot, called me through, yes, trust my partner. Got halfway down, he decided no. I was run out first ball of the season without facing a ball. Karina's parents said, "What happened now?" And my dad just sat there and just watched. He goes, "What do you mean?" He said, "This is the game. This is the game."
They got her in that car and said, "Don't. Please don't do this to us."
I reckon they looked at it the other way.
Oh, yeah?
He's out.
Yeah.
Percy's has crossed the road.
Oh, yeah.
How good's cricket going to be?
Yeah, I reckon they watched how much he blew up on the way off first, and then decided.
What was the reception that Corey got when he eventually made it back with you to the dressing room?
I wasn't one that blew up.
No?
No. I didn't blow up.
Never had words with a
Once
teammate.
I blew up and hit the creatine.
Yeah.
And I went all over. You've heard about that.
Yeah,
But
yeah. And Darren Lehman was asleep, and it was like a murder scene because they had the chalk around where Darren Lehman was actually sleeping in the dressing room.
Yeah, big bit of chalk. I just put my bat down.
Jeez, because you see it sometimes. You see some almighty sprays given.
Great blow-ups.
There was one in the recent Windies one day too, wasn't there, where one of the Windies boys got run out and just gave his.
What I liked about blow-ups is you know the guys who are going to blow up, and all of a sudden you've got 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 pretending to put their pads on, sitting with each other, waiting to get the reaction.
Righto, you've had time to think. Have you ever been run out for a?
No, I don't think
golden
I
duck
actually
or-
have. I've been run out off the bowler's hand, so
Okay.
I wouldn't call that. But funnily enough, I think the two you've got to be most worried about in world cricket is David Warner and Beth Mooney. So I can speak to that. Where
Same intent.
either I'm feeling really good and I know that she's going to call me through, or I let her know on the way out. I got a bit of a sore hammy, so
Right.
any quick singles I might say no.
Yeah.
But Davey's exactly the same. He literally
yeah.
just dropped it and run. So you've got to be ready to go for ball one.
And Beth Mooney is notorious for that as well. Okay.
Yeah,
We'll keep
it's
an eye
not
on
even
that.
a stitch up. You can watch it all back, I promise. But more often than not, I'll be like, nope.
Just turn your back.
Yeah.
Davey hit a couple of clean, but then just mishit one and went right up into the night sky there in Antigua. Out off his 8th ball of the innings for 20. Travis Head got going 34. Mitch Marsh hit a couple of boundaries, and that was it. 5.4 overs. Quickest run chase for Australia, beating the 6.2 overs that they ran down the Bangers score a few years ago. Do you get anything out of that? Out of that run? Do you get anything out of the overall contest, especially with the bat?
Oh, they got a couple in the middle. It's better than net practice. And if the surfaces out in the middle are like they are now, I wouldn't expect that you'd be getting much quality net practice. So you get enough out of it. You get time on legs. You get a run around in the field. So, and the guys that need to break got to break. So, move
Yeah,
on.
I think so. I think to show the intent still up front, knowing you're only chasing 70 odd, to still show the intent up front, and that's what you want to be doing throughout the tournament. It's still momentum, I think, for the top 3 or 4. So I still think they got a bit out of it.
We'll take our innings break right now. Back in a moment, though, with do we do it against Scotland or do we put the handbrake up and manufacture something, sending one home?
No.
Hads wants to talk about the Kiwis for a change. We've got plenty more about that run out as well over in the UK. So much more to come on this episode of Willow Talk. Okay, guys. Australia qualify and finish second in their group no matter what. The pool stage seedings are based on their pre-tournament seeding. So England was seeded 1, Australia 2. It means Australia play the top seed in Group A. Basically, it's been manufactured. So India get the good time slots to play for TV rights. I think this is going a bit far in terms of fixing a draw to make sure the right team plays at the right time for the most audience. I get you want to maximise it like that, but
Get it.
mm,
If you win your group,
Yeah.
but you're still technically finishing second, you get a harder draw, which doesn't make sense. You're doing all the hard work,
yeah.
right? But then if the other pool's fixed as well, then it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't seem quite right in my mind.
Well, is this the hardest draw we could get? It means Australia play the top seed in Group A, top seed in Group C, second seed in Group D, which looks likely at this stage, things can happen, to be India, West Indies, Bangladesh. Super 8's opponents.
Compared to, what's our other one?
Well, it's not
Got him.
Scotland.
It's not Pakistan. I'll give you the tip. Well, England, USA, and
South Africa.
at this stage. Or Pakistan if some miraculous thing happens.
Look,
I don't know.
at the end of the day, I think playing, it won't bother the Aussies because playing those good teams in that situation is only going to do us a world of good. So I don't think it will matter, but yeah, it doesn't sit right with me. If you top your pool, you've done all the hard work, and then you come up against the top teams in the other pools, it doesn't quite make sense to me.
I'll look at it this way, Hads. We're everyone else's worst draw. Australia is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everyone else is looking at us, but I'm with you, Heels. You can't go through undefeated and not top your pool.
Yeah.
It just it doesn't make sense.
Defies
But
logic.
the other thing is you can plan for who you're going to play. They can do a lot of their analytics and make sure they got everyone ready and firing for that game. So yeah, you're right. It doesn't sit well if you win all of them and you come second.
So, by the time we get to Sunday, and we're going to chat again on Sunday after Australia plays Scotland. Australia are through, feet up, no worries, no jeopardy for them in their last pool game. Scotland, on the other hand, will know exactly how close they need to get to Australia. They don't need to win the game. A win would help and take it totally out of England's hands, but they'll know mathematically exactly what they need to do as soon as that toss is made because of how many runs they got to chase or limit or whatever for the net run rate.
Well, I mean, when you look at that, the way that it's seeded, we may as well lose and come second. like genuinely. And that's not like match fixing or anything. I'm like, you may as well lose the game because you can come second anyway.
Might be.
I'm not even supposed to say that word, so
No,
don't put that
true,
word on
true.
socials. But like,
The integrity
you know what I
unit
mean?
just pinged your phone just then because they
But you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, well, you're going to finish second anyway. So
incentive. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Where is the incentive to
Yeah.
succeed in this? And this is where it becomes a bit silly. But I mean, the bogan Australian in all of us is like, oh, stuff up England as you can. But it can't happen.
It won't come up.
No.
It actually, you'd like to sit there maybe over dinner and look at each other, but it'll be knocked on the head quick. Australia have never played their cricket like that.
Oh, once they did. To manufacture a net
Yeah.
run rate situation, 99 World
Yeah.
Cup, they took 40 overs to run down 110 against the West Indies, which was taking it to an extreme. Steve Waugh, Michael Bevan.
Yeah, it won't happen. What will happen, I'd imagine, Australia, Scotland would like them to bat first, and whether they get 160, 200, whatever they get, and they'll have a total then in mind of what they have to get to get through. So it'll actually be a really good game to watch because both teams will win. If Scotland get to what they need to, and I don't think they'll beat Australia, but they might get to the number that they need to get through.
They're actually an improving side, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no surprise they're sitting top of the pool. Like, there's we are,
for us,
but
yeah.
there's no surprise they're up there.
But on the seedings,
They will finish if they win the game. They finish first.
yeah,
You know what?
they
This
finished second. Yes.
all right. Well, if they win the game, they finish second.
Undefeated finish second.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny about it, and it brings back to mind our 2013 World Cup. This is exactly the same situation we were faced with. We had our last round game. We played the West Indies, 50 over World Cup, and if we lost, it knocked England out, and we lost. We didn't. It didn't go to plan. Like, we quite literally just lost the game. We got Deandra Dotton, who came out and made 100 and smacked them everywhere, and we genuinely lost the game. But it knocked England out of the World Cup
So you won.
finals. So it was an interesting.
And how was that received?
Not well.
by the
We
English?
got called cheats a lot, but like we genuinely didn't go in there to lose. I was running drinks, but
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. If you were running drinks, you're one of their best players. You did plan that.
No, but the irony of it is that one of the batters was out injured,
Yeah.
and there was, I think, me and Alyssa Villani on the bench, and we were like, one of us is going to play you beauty, like, who is it? And they picked an extra bowler. So
Yeah. But they could
similarities, I
It's
don't
very
know.
English, very English response though. It's like blame you for our troubles rather than the fact that you're in that position because you put yourself in that position, and that's where England find themselves right now.
Oh yeah. All I'm saying is, look, it looked very suspicious.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was a genuine. We actually got spanked, but it looked very suspicious, and it's like it's a little bit eerie to have this situation unfolding because I remember it distinctly.
Now, we mentioned at the top of the show that Hads is wearing his Mountain Dew trucker hat and not his Richie Richardson big wide floppy that he used to wear in the early 90s in support of the West Indies to get past New Zealand tomorrow, Hads. Even though you're cheering for the Windies or you're cheering for the Kiwis?
I think the Kiwis will win.
Okay. Why?
They've got to come good.
They got beaten by 1,000 by
Yeah,
Afghanistan.
I know. I just think the Kiwis just find a way. They have these games now and then, but they're too experienced. They play with a lot of pride in that jersey. So I expect New Zealand to beat the West Indies.
Can you show a lot of pride when you're wearing teal?
It's what's on your crest.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
yeah, I think they'll win. I know. I look at the West Indies team. I can't get excited about it.
Why is that? They've got so much firepower.
Who? Like you got Nicholas Purum,
Yeah,
who I think's a good player.
Dre Russ.
Yeah.
Well, he's a role player. He doesn't do a lot these days. Yes, he can win you 1 out of 15 matches. Maybe this will be it, but I don't get that excited about watching Dre Russ like I used to. Nicholas Purum, I do.
Yep.
Feel the quicks, but yeah, I'm all over New Zealand.
Sammy, just mark this down. I know you will. You mark everything down. Dre Russ comes out 70 off 25. It's come straight on Instagram, all right?
Oh, well, that's the 1 out of 10 games.
What do you see in that one? Yes?
I think the West Indies will win. It'd be a really disappointing tournament for New Zealand, and I don't like to see it. I like New Zealand compared to Brad Haddin, but
I think you put words in my mouth, you two.
no. But I think the Windies. I think the Windies will win.
The glee you have taken in any kind of Kiwi misfortune.
They're just such a nice group of people, you know.
They're just wonderful people.
You all bluffed. Next.
Just been fishing all morning.
So that one Thursday, 10:30, the good time slot
Do
for
not miss
Australian audiences.
I think
so-
it'll be a cracking game to watch. I think both teams have got to win, right? It'll be good.
Absolutely. This New York pitch, we mentioned it before. So Pakistan ran down 106 with 2.5 overs to spare. So it's Canada. So fair enough. South Africa, Bangladesh was 113, played 109. And then that huge game that everyone was looking forward to, it was 119 India, 113. Pakistan couldn't run it down. The one that Pakistan got beaten in the super over, not a lot of runs there. What happened with it? Is it like it's a drop in from the other side of the world? So can't imagine it's in perfect order.
Yeah.
Is it the pitch or is it the
No, it is the
surrounds, or-
surface. It is. It's inconsistent. You can handle wickets if they just go down, or wickets if they've got steep bounce or even just spin. But this is adding 3 elements. This is going up and down and sideways, and it's not what you want in a 2020 World Cup. We've given the game to the States, saying, look at this great game of cricket. We're giving them India, Pakistan game. Doesn't get any bigger than that. And the least we can do is make sure when we know this far out to get the surface right.
Well, I don't think they've had enough time to get the surface right. It feels like everything's been very last minute. We've known that the World Cup's been there for a long period of time. I don't know when the wicket block itself only came across the other side of the world, but it feels like it was almost that first game that played there. It was almost like the trial run. That's what it felt like. And I'm like, surely you want to be playing cricket on it a little bit before then, knowing then how it was going to unfold. Whereas it seems like that first game of the World Cup, it was like, well, here it is. And, oh, it's interesting. And we're going to have to deal with that. So I don't think the preparation in it has been ideal. And I don't think that's anyone's fault. It just seems like it's been everything's last minute.
But that's what I don't understand. How it can be last minute for a World Cup event.
That's what I mean.
Whether it's like done off site, it can't be, okay, what's this going to do? Not in our marquee event. Yes, if you got a bilateral series or something, yes, experiment. But not when we've got a World Cup.
Worst deck you've ever played on?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Yeah. Best tour ever, but worst wicket. I remember opening with Matthew Haddin.
Yeah.
First ball rolled. I was against Pakistan, Mohammed Shami.
Yeah.
And he's arguing with the umpire about we've got to move wickets.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what's going to happen next ball? So same position, went forward, straight in my head.
Awesome.
But we end up winning the game, actually.
Yeah.
That's a different story. We'll talk about that later.
Mm.
But, yeah, I did not line up much with the ball.
I think that's Willow Talk after hours. I don't think we need to hear that.
We will be doing one of those. Heels, what your worst deck played on?
I haven't played on too many stinkers.
Not even a mud heap
How
in
lucky am
Sydney
I?
when it's been
School
raining
cricket?
for a month.
Yeah, well, there's been a few of them.
Yeah.
No, because I don't want to name and shame like a poor little local
Oh,
ground.
You're too nice.
Nah, shame it.
Fair enough.
No.
No, if it's an international ground, they should know better. They should be name and shame, but I get it. If
If it's
out
a
of their
local ground,
control,
yeah.
and it's one groundsman looking after it. But
Yeah.
so nothing internationally, nothing.
I mean, there's been a few over in the West Indies over the years, and probably in India as well. We've had a few interesting wickets, but it's been good fun.
You know what I find interesting with the Indian wickets? When you have a tour game.
Yeah.
You're getting ready for a 3-test series. You've done all your analytics on, I've got to face these 3 spinners. Are going to go with one quick. You get to the tour game and it's green. You read through the team. You go, I don't think they've got a spinner.
Yeah.
And there's 4 little medium paces on a green wicket.
Yeah. It's like they're playing somewhere out of Birmingham in early May.
Yep.
Crafty.
Green top. Clever. So, in the UK, club cricket it looked like, or minor counties. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but shout out to Will Culhane on Instagram. He sent us this video. It's doing the rounds as well. The title of the video is This Worse Than the Carey Bairstow Stumping? Now, in the video, a batter plays and misses a full ball from a fast bowler. Keeper catches and then just does the hand on to, I think, second slip. Someone in the slip cordon. The batter then sees that and then goes out of his ground to just have a little tap and a little walk around and look at the trees and some fresh air and anything. He turns around and he's been run out. What do we think?
Horrific. You can't do that.
Horrific.
Well, first and foremost, the ball's dead.
Yep.
As soon as it... In Alex Carey's situation, it's not dead when he lets it go because he's actually trying to affect the stumping. But as soon as the keeper lets it go to another fielder, the ball is dead. And that's why you wait until the ball's dead before you go out. Otherwise, you could get run out at any point.
You're thrown at the mid-on.
Yeah. So the bowler could be standing at the top of their mark and throw the ball down. Yeah. So first and foremost, it should never have been given out because it's dead. But so that second slip needs a slap.
Here's the big question then. To totally vindicate how bad a decision this was in the eyes of Heels, Brad Haddin, what say you?
Mate, not out.
Not out.
No, the ball's dead.
Yep.
The interesting one's the umpire. He would have watched the Bairstow Carey thing go all through the summer. Sure, he knows the rules.
Yeah.
You know what's happened? The umpire was never in the vision. I don't reckon I'm going to say that it could have been he, could have been she, they were watching. I wonder if they thought maybe the keeper threw the stumps down because I reckon the ball's gone to the keeper, they've probably switched off looking away and then next minute the bails are off and they're like, oh, and the batter's halfway down the wicket.
And they've all gone up, or the majority of them have gone up. So, as you say, if there's a lapse in concentration for the umpire, all of a sudden they've all gone up. It's like, oh, well, this must be.
But surely you ask your other umpire who was definitely watching the play.
Or it's your number 11 batter in your team, if it's league cricket that wants a hit. And he's just gone, you know what, I'm not going to get a hit here today. That's out.
Oh, that batter, whoever it was, that there would have been some mortal destruction of the change room when they got back to it.
Well, I've seen an international cricketer just destroy all 3 stumps when they got given out, and I would have seen fair enough if he had knocked all 3 down, walked to the other end, knocked the other 3 down, and then walked off. Fair enough.
Okay, you can't say that and not name a name.
No, I'm not.
Unless you're protecting someone.
You can see it. You can see it on social media.
Okay. Can you remember it? I can't remember it. I want to see it.
It's an international captain.
Male or female?
Game. The Indian captain. Isn't it? Yes, I've seen that.
Harmanpreet Kaur. Oh, just all of a sudden.
I've never seen her on the fence in my life.
Right, I know what I'm doing as soon as this ends.
I'm straight on here.
You go now. You go now. Hills, you've got a new teammate at the Sixers, a gun, Kiwi gun, Amelia Kerr.
How exciting. I mean, I'd heard whispers about it, even during WPL being over there. She obviously plays in Mumbai under Charlotte Edwards, who's our Sixers coach. There's a few whispers around it, then never really thought it was going to happen. Obviously, she's been at the Heat for a long period of time. But the new rule that's come in that to allow teams to sign players for 3 years to get some sort of, not loyalty, but some sort of consistency with the draft coming in, managed to jag her, and she's got family in Sydney as well, so she's really excited. I've spoken to her. She's pumped for the opportunity. So she's also just started getting into golf, so I'm also excited for a golf buddy. So she'll be down at Longreef, I'm sure,
we'll see her down
throughout the summer. But
this is starting all that up here.
Huge coup for us. I mean, to be completely honest, it doesn't really change our draft options either. We still got a similar opportunity as to what we had last year. So it's actually quite a large signing.
And she's got a lot of good cricket ahead of her as
Yeah.
well. Even though she's already made a name for herself right now, she's got over a decade to go.
Yeah, she's still a baby, which is scary. And I think she's developing even more from a leadership point of view for New Zealand, and hopefully, with some senior players around her, she can learn and develop even more. I mean, Pez has been really successful as skipper of the Sixers, so it's I'm hugely excited. I think it's going to be good fun, and hopefully she fits in. I don't know what availabilities look like, and I don't want to put an asterisk next to it, but if she's there the whole season, how good.
I'm looking forward to the Heat Sixers game now.
Yeah, same.
Game on.
Same.
Well, they've just lost their coach this morning, so I'm not sure the Heat Sixers will be as potentially as spicy as what once was, because they've had a lot of turnover.
Oh,
That's
Okay.
for next show.
Yes, sounds like it. He's dropping bombs left, right, and centre over here. Stumps
How
being
good's
cleaned up.
this?
Coaches sacked.
Sorry, it was in the news. It wasn't breaking.
True.
It was breaking news.
True. Shout out to Glenn McGrath, also in the news, being appointed an officer of the Order of Australia. I don't know what the hell that means, but it sounds nice and fantastic news for Glenn McGrath. For the King's birthday honours, this was named in. It's all about his work with the McGrath Foundation. Hard to say no to something like that, given what the McGrath Foundation does, and it really jumps at you during the Sydney Test, but it's a lot more than that. It's a 365 thing, and Glenn McGrath's been at the forefront of it and raised so much money and put so many breast cancer nurses all across Australia because of the money raised. So well done.
Yeah, well, we know Pigeon was a great cricketer, but he's a better human. What they've done with the McGrath Foundation, Tracy Bevan, has been outstanding. So it's no surprise. He's just a great person. He's done so much for charity, and the more Glenn McGrath gets praised, the better, I reckon.
And last but not least, a little slipper for me here from Cam Hill, who DM'd Sam, producer Sam, or the Willow Talk Instagram handle, and said that Adam's ad delivery is way better. Cam previously said Adam sounded robotic. So apparently those pre-reads that you wouldn't have heard today, because they go pre-roll, they're just about to run one right now, so gear yourself. I'll try not to sound like a robot when I'm speaking on ads. So sorry, Cam. I'll try and add some more life.
Do you know
next
Cam?
time. No, I don't. No idea who he is.
Well, I've thought you've really improved.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Anything else to add, Hads, before we go?
Oh, I like Cam, actually.
Who is this Cam? Let's get him on. Yeah.
Give him an ad.
Give him a
And if he's
Sprite hat.
better, maybe.
He can come sit down.
Right. When I go away, if I can't make an episode, get him in to friggin' host the thing if you want.
Hey.
Okay?
Sounds great.
Mate, we'll be lost without you.
Oh, thanks, mate. You don't mean that.
Well, keeping it real might finally come to fruition.
What was it that Nick Faldo once said when he did a speech after winning the British Open? He had a crack at the press. He goes, I want to thank you from the heart of my bottom.
Oh.
That's what he said. He got that into a microphone with the trophy in his hand, and that's what he said to the English press. So that went down well. Anyway, that's us this week. Thank you.
Pleasure.
See you next time.
See you soon.
That was Willow
Keep it
Talk.
real.
Have a good one, everyone. We'll be back on Sunday with the immediate review of Australia-Scotland. Will England be out? Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.